Hello, and welcome to the video for Tuesday, October 8th. Today we're going to talk about Blog 4, specifically how the information from Blog 4 will help you with Project 2. And then I want to get us started thinking about sources, because that is one of the new parts of this assignment. And then your homework for next time is pretty small, because I want you to focus on working on Project 2. That due date is going to come up real quick. We're spending a lot less time on this project than we did on Project 1 because it is a remix. So let's get started. So talking about Blog 4. So the people who did the blog did really well. There were a lot of really good points that were brought up, and I have aggregated content and put it in one place to share with everyone. So if you go to Moodle, to our class page, and click on Class Blog, okay, we have a post. So just a reminder too, if you want to see what your peers are posting about some of these prompts that we've had, you can click on them and it'll take you to all of these people's blogs. This is also where you'll be posting your first draft of Project 2. So you will need to become familiar with accessing other people's blogs through the class blog page. So, and what I've done is I've read everyone's blog posts and I've made some lists of things that I think might be helpful. So the prompt for Blog 4 was, what are some differences with Medium articles versus what you did for Project 1? What kind of changes might you need to make to have a successful Project 2? Excuse me. And here's a list of things that people came up with after reading some articles on Medium. You don't need to do all of these things in your paper, but you should seriously consider them and see what fits best for you and the genre. So I've broken it down into 4 categories: format, style, connect with the reader, and give information. And this last one is mandatory. So format. People pointed out that you won't need traditional paragraphs. You can have really, really short paragraphs. You can have some paragraphs that are just one line. Also with format, you need to include at least one image. This is something I would like everyone to do. It should also say mandatory. So, but include an image. And then people noticed that some authors played around with fonts and sizes of fonts. So those are things to consider for your own Project 2. The style, people commented that often the Medium articles are written in a way that's very casual and conversational, as though you were, quote, talking to a personal fan base, and that this sort of conversation can often include dialogue. So you might want to think about adding dialogue or being more conversational in your revisions, your remix. Under connection with the reader, this one and then the information really go together. So people commented, like, be creative, be more creative, really work to invoke empathy from the reader. Make the story relatable. So remember, for Project 1, you needed to explain a memory and its significance to you. For Project 2, you need to explain a story and its significance to the larger culture, so to the reader, to the average person. People also noted that a lot of Medium articles have a moral or a takeaway. So if that's something that seems to fit with what you've written, you might want to consider ending with something like that. And then give information. So this is a way to connect with your reader. Back up your claim so you sound like an authority. Use at least 2 sources. Let's go back here. So this is part of... Just want to pull up the assignment sheet. Here we go. Okay. So Project 1 was a descriptive essay about a memory that is important to you for general audience. For Project 2, you turn it into a short article for the This Happened to Me section of Medium. You're encouraged to keep writing about the same memory. The biggest change, like I just said, Project 1 is focused on why it matters to you. Project 2 is why it matters to someone else. Put bluntly, why would someone who doesn't know you care about your story? To help with this, you're required to include information from at least 2 outside sources and have a works cited list. So we're going to talk about where to find those sources and how to make a works cited list on different days, starting Thursday. The other thing I wanted to do today in this video was talk about the 2 sources. Like what sorts of things you might want to include. There we go. So under what kind of info might you need, don't worry about where you can find it. We'll do that on Thursday. But one thing to think about, go through Project 1, reread it, now that Project 1 is over, reread it, and look for places where you give information that someone might want to know more, or where you could back up what you're saying with a source. So 2 things to really keep in mind are statistics and definitions. In the past, these have been the 2 things that have been the most useful for people when they've done this sort of remix. So where in your paper do you make a claim that might be useful if you could also give statistics? Like motherhood. What percentage of women in the United States are mothers? And it's as simple as that. Also definitions. What is the definition of mother? So going through, rereading, highlighting places where you think that's either a statistic or a definition or some other sort of source material, credible information backing up your claim might help what you're doing. So it's not, it just says work on project 2, but what I would really like you to focus on is look for places in P1 where you can use sources. And then we will find these sources together on Thursday. So let me know if you have any questions or concerns. Grades are up for the blog post. I plan to grade Project 1 revisions today and tomorrow. And be sure to stop by my office during office hours if you want to come chat. Hope everyone's doing well.